What's going on, everybody? This is Jace Thorpe with Fairway Independent Mortgage. My video today is going to be covering the cost difference and the pros and cons of buying a home versus renting a home. Let's get into it. So first things first, when you rent, there's not a whole lot of flexibility of what you can do. You're on your landlord's agenda. When your lease is up, he can change the terms. He can terminate it and decide he doesn't want to rent anymore, or he can even raise your price, putting you in a sticky situation. See, when you own a home, the ball's going to be in your court. You know what your payment's going to be, and you really have three options with that. You can live in the home, you can sell the home, and you can rent a home. And the cost of buying a home really isn't as big as you might think. Let's look at some of the pros and cons of what it takes to buy a home. And then we'll look at some of the pros and cons of what it looks like to rent a home. And then at the very end, we're going to compare them, and I'll let you make the decision. So let's talk about some of the pros of buying a home. You see, the first one, and in my opinion, the biggest pro, is that you're going to be building equity. Now, you may be thinking, what is equity? And we're going to explain it a little bit further in the video. But to boil it down, what equity is you have value in your home when you purchase it, and you're going to get some of that money back that you spend each month after you sell the home. See, the second pro is going to be tax benefits. So you can write off a lot of your home expenses on your tax returns, and in return, you're going to get more money back from the IRS when you have more write-offs. Third point is it's going to be your place, your rules. This one's obvious, but if you're spending money each month to stay there, you should have the final say in the way that the place is going to look. The last point that I want to touch on is the flexibility of owning a home. You never know what life's going to throw at you, and with that being said, it's very easy to sell a home in the Colorado market. Right now, homes are selling in about 14 days, and it's not going to cost you any money to move. In fact, you're actually going to probably make money when you move. Let's cover some of the cons of buying a home. There's going to be additional responsibilities wrapped into owning that home. Repairs are going to be on you. If that dishwasher breaks, you got to pay for it. You can buy insurance for that, but it's still on you. You may have an HOA that's going to tell you you can't have your house look like this. You can't park a car on the side of the house. Those are things that you also have to be aware of. The last and biggest con, in my opinion, is that you can't predict the market. You see, back in 2008, the market crashed. And the reason why it crashed is because people were getting loans that they couldn't afford and they didn't understand their financing behind it.
Brought down by bad mortgage investments, Lehman, which has 25,000 employees, will be liquidated. 3 of the 5 biggest independent firms on Wall Street have now disappeared. Bear Stearns, which collapsed last spring, Lehman Brothers, and Merrill Lynch.
Now here in 2019, there are multiple laws and regulations that have been implemented to make sure that you as a consumer understand what you're getting yourself into when you go and you sign your documents to purchase your home. Let's cover some of the pros of renting a home now. The first one is going to be that there's no market risk involved. If the market ever crashes, you don't have to worry about it. Next thing is going to be it's a low initial cost to move into that home. So normally your landlord's going to require a deposit or first or last months of rent, and that's a lot easier to cover than your down payment and closing costs. The next thing is going to be that sometimes you can get additional services wrapped into your rent. We're talking utilities, cable, internet. So if you want to take a 45-minute long shower, your landlord's paying for that, not you. And the last piece is going to be that it's a more consistent payment. A lot of the times, not all the time, but a lot of the times people are renting to get their feet underneath them so that they can then purchase a larger investment. And that consistency is huge. It allows for you to save more money, and it allows for you to set yourself up for the next purchase. Now let's cover some of the cons of renting a home. The first one's going to be that you can be seen as throwing away money. There's no equity involved in a rental payment, and so you're never going to see that money back. Second point is going to be there's really not going to be a whole lot of upgrades that you're going to see when you're renting a property. If you're renting a home out to someone, your goal is probably to get positive cash flow back, so it doesn't always make sense to upgrade appliances. The next thing is going to be is you can have a difficult landlord. I've heard of scenarios where an AC breaks or the furnace goes down, and you're going to be without that for weeks, maybe even months at a time. And the last point, something that I actually touched on earlier in the video, is that you're going to be on your landlord's agenda. You have no idea when he's going to quit renting the property, and you have no idea if he plans on cranking up the payment of your rent until you sign your next lease. Now that we've covered the pros and cons of buying versus renting a home, let's look at the total cost of buying versus renting. This is a scenario that I've actually pulled from a property that is on the market right now.
The property address is 209 East 45th Avenue. It is 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and 1,300 square feet. The purchase price of this property is $275,000, and for this loan scenario, we're going to do a conventional loan. It's going to be Freddie Mac's Preferred Plus, getting a 4% down grant. That's through CHFA. But don't worry about that. That's why you hire an expert. For this loan program, you're going to be putting 3% down, or $8,250. Your total monthly payment for this scenario is $1,952.54. A breakdown of that payment shows that your principal and interest is $1,664.17. I'm estimating about $100 in hazard insurance. Your monthly taxes are $75 a month, and for mortgage insurance, we're going to have $113.37. Because we're going with CHFA's 4% grant program, CHFA is going to be granting you $10,670 in free grant money. Yes, I said free, you do not have to pay that money back. So your total cash to close, your down payment, closing costs, the whole shebang to get moved into this house is $6,137.10. So let's look at this scenario after a year. So you spent $6,137.10 to get moved into the home. If we look at your monthly payments across the year, you're spending $23,430.48 in payments. Denver's properties have been appreciating at double-digit numbers each year. So for a nice round number, we're going to say that this property is appreciating 10% each year. So after the first year of that property appreciating at 10%, your property's value is going to go up by $27,500, making your new home value $302,500. So to summarize this one-year overview, you spent about $6,000 to purchase the home, about $23,000 in monthly payments, and your property appreciated by about $28,000. With everything all said and done, it cost you about $2,000 to purchase and live in a home for a year. Now, of course, this is all contingent on you being able to sell the property right then and there, but I think for a total cost, this summarizes it up pretty well. So now let's take a look at what it would cost to rent this property. If you Google fair market rent, you can punch in the zip code and how many bedrooms the property has, and we are estimating fair market rent to be $2,119 a month. But as we know, Denver is a hot market, and so you can kind of charge a premium for that. I have seen these kind of properties going for about $2,300 a month, so let's have a happy median of $2,200. Now, worst case scenario here, we're going to assume that you're going to have to provide first and last month's rent as well as a deposit. So we're looking at $2,200 first and last month. You're going to be at $4,400, and then we'll say a nice $1,000 deposit, showing that you're going to need $5,400 to get moved into this property. So let's look at this at a year view. Total monthly payment here, you're spending $26,400 in rent. A couple other things to note for is that you can count on $30 a year in rental insurance, and it's typical that year after year, your landlord's going to raise your rent by $50 to $100. Now, when you compare this to the buying scenario, you're only $700 off from actually owning the home rather than renting the home for a year, and your monthly payment's going to be cheaper. Now, to wrap this up, if we're looking at the one-year total cost overview, again, it's going to cost about $32,000 a year to rent, and when we include appreciation in selling the property after the first year, it's going to cost you about $2,000 a year to buy a home and live in it. But like with any investment, the long game is where you're going to make the most money, so I would urge you to continue to live in that property rather than selling it.
So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video informative, and my goal with this channel is to boil down some of these larger concepts into easy to understand and digestible videos. But with that being said, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, my phone number is going to be right here. Please shoot me a text, give me a phone call. I'm a 24/7 kind of guy, and I'd really love to continue the conversation with you. Thanks for watching.